Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Disco Elysium. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're supposed to join me today, still talking to, what's his name? Dross is his name. I don't think he ever said his name, I might have forgotten about it. The Deserter is his name, and he's telling us all the things. He's just telling us all the things, and it's so good. So also he was complaining about cocks and whores and things. By cock parading in his colorful uniform, you mean René? Every fucking morning, for 34 years, he grinds his teeth in rage, throwing that ball, one ball against the other. I've always loathed that game. It is not a working class game. I don't care what they say on Radio June. Again with the symbols that I was talking about last episode. Royalist ghouls, played like it was life itself. Click clack. He makes the sound of balls connecting. Slap slap. Across the water each day, and that uniform like a parrot's plumage. I won't even mention that he's a traitor to his race, a petanque maniac race traitor. Again, symbols. He was talking about, and he never really went anywhere. He was talking about how everybody in Revachol is racist. This is necessarily racist. Like, absolutely necessarily racist. There's no way you can make a fictitious setting where this line over here is not racist. Because you're assigning, like, it is racist necessarily because you're assigning a duty, whatever it is, based on race, and the duty is what you betray, as to be a race traitor, not necessarily that you betray your race. But it is also that, yes. That's probably what he's referring to. A race traitor, for example, being very similar to people who support the civil rights movement of in the United States. There were white people who supported that. I was trying to. Is it just civil rights movement? That sounds so weird, doesn't it? It's like it's specifically about. Not white people. Now, actually, I think it's specifically about black people, the civil rights movement, although it expands to everybody, every race. But it is specifically about black people, and you just say the civil rights movement. Isn't that weird? It's not the black civil rights movement, it's the civil rights movement. I wonder if I'm missing something. And in me trying to remember if it is said civil rights movement, I said people who support it, as if only white people are people. No, the white people who support the civil rights movement, I think it is just civil rights movement, but anyway, white people who supported the civil rights movement in the United States back in the 50s and 60s, or, no, actually civil rights would be in the 60s and 70s. 70s as well, but specifically in the 60s, I think, they were accused of being race traitors, and this is a term that is used elsewhere. I don't know the origins of it, but and honestly, the only relevant historical place that I know of is specifically in the context of the civil rights movement in the United States. But it is used, it is thrown around by racists. But it is necessarily a racist term. So him, in his pursuit of symbols, and complaining about how everybody in Revachol is racist, he is racist. Because, obviously he is. And he's also a misogynist prick. And he's also really not very dumb, not very smart at all. He's dumb. He's not smart. He's not smart because he's just symbols. You need to get past the symbols, dude. All the time, you need to get past the symbols. The symbols don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Just need to get past. It doesn't matter if the car has a rev counter. Is what I'm saying. Let's back off before you get too agitated. You know what? Let's go with that. Yeah. What is there to be agitated about? The unholy ghoul? His hand trembles with rage. I love him there. He reminds me of everything we fought for. Oh, can I tell him that he died? Because that would be interesting. He reminds me of everything we fought for. At least we killed that Frizzle and his kingsman. He's overtaken by a coughing fit. Well, I'm glad we talked about this. Now. Glad. It's all gone. He stares into the dust at his feet. Gray and dirty spring grass all around. So, Composure check. Then also my hiccup. Because I have hiccups all the time. Assess, rather. That's how it's pronounced. Assess his body language. Success! Very nice. What strikes you about this gaunt man is not the stomach pain, or the cough, or the malnutrition. For a man who's spent 44 years hidden in the urban wild, he is surprisingly okay. Indeed, he speaks fluidly, his movements are rapid, if erratic, his voice, despite the cough, is there. It is capable of expressing complicated ideas. The voice is, not him. Above all, because it is it, he seems animated. By what? It's a mystery. This animation comes from comes at a cost too. Erratic hand gestures, thought processes cut off like threads as he just stares at the logs or the reeds. He also suffers mood swings, bubbling to the surface, unconstrained by his nervous system. Are these all consistent with PTSD, by the way? Or depression. Or depression. One wouldn't imply the absence of the other. I think so. Mood swings, definitely. What made me think about it was more unconstrained by his nervous system. Of course, you know, PTSD and depression being a well, it's nervous system because it's our brain and it's our nervous system. So, yeah. But yeah, he's yeah, I would think so. He's just a really, really broken man. Probably broken already 44 years ago. Because of the symbols that I keep talking about that he just loves. And he basically bases his whole worldview on. Our empathy says, great leaps of emotion from anger to grief and despair. Thought it was going to be a reference to a... Let me see if I can look it up. I got the lyrics here. It's from probably my favorite song on many, many accounts. Not just the lyrics, but also the song. Also the musicality of it. My favorite song by Dream Theater, which is probably my favorite band. From an album that if you like prog rock, you should definitely listen to. It's fantastic. 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence. It's a 2-CD album. The second album, I believe it is all one song, mostly about mental illness. But the song Misunderstood is from is the song that I'm talking about, and there's a bit that I thought this was gonna be a reference to, and I'm gonna read it because it's beautiful. Playing a lion being led to a cage, I turn from surreal to seclusion, from love to disdain, from belief to delusion, from a thief to a beggar, from a god, to God save me. And I think it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. It's amazing. And it is, the song is complicated. The original meaning of the lyrics is, it's a little bit disputed. But it's a song that relates to mental illness in a lot of more than one way. But that's just how Dream Theater works. It's a lot of their albums are you can understand them in many different ways. Like, for example, my favorite album of theirs, the Scenes from a Memory, which is a very literal story that can be understood in very unliteral ways. But anyway, it's just, I thought it was going to be a reference, and it's a beautiful passage. Thought I would read it. Also, Dementia. What's Dementia? What's the song Dementia? If you're looking that album up, I believe Losing Time, the last one, is specifically about dementia. The song in that album. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It's just songs. If you like other types of music, you probably are not going to like it. But anyway. Dementia for sure. Wouldn't a foul temper be a byproduct of his life? Wouldn't dementia be a byproduct of his life? You've seen demented people before. This feels similar, yet different. When his thoughts move, they are lucid. Keen, even. Not senile. Let's ask the second question. Perhaps, but his seems more than this, or more than that. The inner turmoil, that's almost the name of one of the songs, takes unexpected turns, as if forced on him in a way. Did I mention... I mentioned with him dissociative multipersonal disorder. What's the word? I don't know. I think I said it right when I mentioned it before. Bipolar. Yeah. Dissociative bipolar disorder, I believe, is the term. In summary, you sense some underlying neurological disorder. Yeah. Mr. Dross, are you okay? How is your memory? He waves his hand, chasing something that's not there. No, I'm not okay. I shit blood, and I'm surrounded by insane people. There it is again, erratic hand motions, bouts of rage, and a stomach thing too, of course. Yeah, anxiety will cause that. Depression will cause that as well. Ellipses have 3 dots, and that one only has 2, so that's not ellipses. Yeah, I can't really read into that. That's it for now, old man. Stay put. I wonder what I should do. The game is very loud here. I saved over there. I wonder if I should arrest him. Because it's pretty obvious he needs help. And I'm pretty certain he's not going to get it if I arrest him. But maybe he is. Let's try not doing that. This is what I'm doing right now. I'm going back to the boat. Like, he needs help. I have his rifle, so that's a good thing. I'm not gonna make one out of dirt. The skiff is swaying on the waves by the dock. Let's return to the mainland. Are you sure? There are things we still need to do here. He looks at the ruined flag tower on the cliffside. Really, Kim? You're gonna be like that, Kim?
Yes.
We need to arrest him. It's kind of surprising. It's kind of surprising that we have to do that choice over here. It's not a choice if we have to do it, isn't it? Josef Lilianovic Dross, you're under arrest for the murder of the colonel here in Martinez. What? The old man's eyes fill with sudden, unexpected terror at the words. But you said I would be taken to the... This terror is the sum of all the uncontrollable moments and mood swings he's been exhibiting. He's gonna die in front of me, isn't he? Your wayfarer rights have been suspended. Information provided to the officers on the scene will be used against you by the prosecution. You will be given legal counsel within 1 week and must face court in 44 days. Do you understand? Do you understand? But... Kim, he's afraid. No, I don't want to. I have to stay here. He looks at the reeds, eyes submerged in growing terror. And one of the things that anybody, not just people with PTSD or anxiety for sure, depression, one of the people with mental illness, but depending on the mental illness, obviously, and people without it, especially old people as well. Where we live is the anchor points. Our anchor points are a very, very important thing for us as humans. Like it's more or less well understood that people later in their years that see a large change in their life, either because they move places or because they lose somebody dear to them, or because they change like what they have to do day to day or stuff like that, that they develop dementia a lot faster, and it is more or less understood that it is because of those changes, and just because you get unmoored. I think the term unmoored is actually a thing that it is used to understand this sort of stuff. But he's as moored as it gets, and from a medical perspective, he's as moored as it gets. But obviously from a God damn it, game! Why are you so well written? Fuck you. Seriously. Jesus fucking Christ. This, from a medical perspective, is as moored as it gets. The metaphor is there as well. His philosophy. He's moored in time. He's stuck. He's stuck. That's why it's well written. God fucking damn it. Why? Why are you so well written? Why? This doesn't upset me, mind you. I am upset, but this doesn't upset me. This is like the best thing. This is the best thing. Like, everything should be written like this. Everything. It doesn't matter what you're writing about. Write with meaning. Write with metaphor. Because that's the best thing. It's always the best thing. I'm fidgeting with my chair and whatnot because I'm... Fidget more. I'm fidgeting. I'm actually sort of going out of my way to fidget, but once I start fidgeting where I just did, there, it's fixed now. I didn't break the chair or anything. It's all good. Why? Like, seriously, this is brilliant. It's not, like, the thing is, it isn't in your face. You don't need to understand, that, what I just said. You don't need to see it to be immersed in the storyline. But it is there. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's lovely. And it's just... It's like they built personifications of an idea and then put them in the game and just made them talk to each other. And the game becomes... And the reading of the game becomes about you trying to figure out what that character is a personification of. And you think that if you're making a personification of an idea, it's going to be a caricature. It's going to be, like, really easy to tell. And then it isn't. I mean, it is in this case, but, like, it's not that it isn't. It's not that it isn't easy for you to realize that he's a personification of being stuck in a dead regime, and the philosophy of a dead regime. In an ideology that everybody abandoned, and being alone. But the realization that you're looking at a personification at all is what's brilliant. It's just amazing. Because it makes you question yourself. The game makes you question yourself. Are you sure, Colonel? Are you sure that that's what you're seeing? And I think I am. He says I have to stay here. He's specifically saying I have to stay here. This is the island where the freaking Maybells grow. Although he might be stuck with the symbols or anything, but it doesn't matter. He has to stay here. He's obsessed with it. And it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the rest of his lines. You wouldn't expect him to be so afraid. So this is definitely a turn of events. This is like a plot twist. It's not a plot twist, but like this is this is developing of his character development. because you wouldn't be able to see this coming, and that's why I know it's intentional. Because if it was just, you know, a continuation of what was said before, then you shouldn't read too much into that sort of stuff, because, you know, if it's just a continuation, it's not. If you read too much into it, it's gonna be a mess. But this is not a continuation. This is like a character development. So you have a little bit of leeway to see why it is that they wrote it like that. Why is he now growing afraid, and why is he saying, "I have to stay here"? That's so goddamn freaking amazing. I hate it and love it. Seriously. Our perception sight says he's sweating. Beads are forming on his forehead. Your confirmation is not required, sir, says Kim. The lieutenant turns to you. Now, on the boat. And there's a perception hearing wait. That's a red check. I'm getting that. I'm freaking getting that. I still have 1 point left. Come on. There he is again. To your north. As it has been since you came to the coast, the reeds whisper, stalks rubbing against each other. But then in the middle of it, what? Something completely different. It sounds like a bow, very slowly being drawn against the string of a violin. A very small violin, made of reeds and rushes. And then it's gone, drowned out by the lieutenant's voice. Maybe there is room for 3 on the boat. Shh, Kim, did you hear that? What? What are you talking about? Is this... The old man's voice drowns in a sudden gust of wind. Really us? Or really useful? Your skin crawls, says our shivers. He's gonna be shot, isn't he? That's the sound that we keep hearing. Holy Okay, that's not a metaphor, is it? That's not a metaphor, is it? Look at the freaking thing. A delicate tangle of arms and legs unfolds from the reeds, limb by limb, to then just stand there, moving its scythe-like arms in ghostly silence. What is that? The old man looks at the reeds, then at you. What are you talking about? I don't know what the hell that is. He looks confused. There's nothing there. The stick insect is over 3 meters tall. It looks straight at you, with its tiny pinprick eyes and its grotesquely small head. You feel your legs... This is our half-light. You feel your legs shaking under you and your gun hand move to your holster, but you don't have a gun. There it is! I see it. Tell me what you see, damn it. I can't make out one small thing in the reeds. Kim, can you see it? I can see it. God damn it, Kim can see it! 4 simple words, says our volition. Thank God. If you can see it, then you're not insane. But that means it's really there, spinning slowly in absolute silence, its limbs long and slender. Be very, very careful, the lieutenant whispers and then takes a step towards the giant arthropod. Arthropod. Did he say arthropod? Because anthropod, I don't think that... Hello? It's so tiny. I mean, the head, anyway. Oh, okay. The creature stands on long, stilt-like legs, antennae hanging from its head like a woman's hair, white and curled at the tips. It's no more than 5 steps away from you. Segmented antenna move with apprehension, searching for something that's not there. Reed-like tufts stick out of its joints. As the insect moves its forearms, it produces a faint hiss, like a reel-to-reel machine spinning like after the tape breaks. The hiss is different from the strings you heard before. It says something else, in a lower pitch. Well, we're gonna mess with it in the next episode, but for right now, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Disco Elysium. I really hope you've enjoyed it. Oh my god. And if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye. This game is a freaking roller coaster, I'll tell you.